Welcome back to tutorial C8 Corvette part 21. And in the last tutorial, we were working with some of the areas in front here. We worked with the headlights and the bulbs inside the headlight and the light strips. And possibly in the future, we will edit these LED strips in the front here, and then do some other things as well. There's one more thing I want to do with this front splitter. I want to edit that to be a bit bigger and thicker, but that's after we did the other things that we want to do today in this tutorial. So in this tutorial, we're going to we're going to design this door here, and then we're going to stop this curvature inside the at midway from the door. Okay, so let's have a look at the picture here. So the way we're going to attack this surface here is we're going to imagine that this surface and this is not here, and then we will add that afterwards. So let's imagine that this area is not on the surface yet, and also this step here, this triangle surface, not here. So we're going to imagine that is without this area here and this surface here, and of course this curvature is stops in midway. So we need to blend that curvature somewhere in midway of this door here. Okay, so in the very beginning we left this curvature here, so that's good, that we can use that. And the few curvatures we need to get started with the door is we need to get some curvature, some 3D um, converted curvatures from these edges here, just so that we can start off from something, right? So let's jump into 3D sketch here, and then grab a spline, and then not spline. Let's convert, press convert, and then we're going to convert this edge here, and then we're just gonna pull it out a little bit, just that much. Okay, so we can work off of. All right, so press OK, and then exit the sketch. And then let's grab another one, an individual one, and then convert any of these, and let's grab this edge here. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to pull it out to about that bar. Okay, and exit this sketch. And then we're going to make another one, convert any of these. We're going to convert this edge here. Press OK, and we're just going to pull this out to about here. Okay, and now let's jump over to the first display state here. And then we already have some curvatures here that we created in the beginning as well, which we are going to use. So we got 1, 2, 3, right? So let's find this curvature here. We made this in the very beginning, so you should have this curvature as well. So let's jump to the future tree and just click on this line, and then we can see that's curve 17. So and this one here is curve 15, and we already have that on the second display set this curve. So it's going to be curve 15 and a curve 17 that we need to bring up. So 17 is this one here. So jump to second display state, and jump to the future tree, and we need curve 17. So click to show that, and we need curve 15. So click to show that, right? And then we already have these sketches here as well. All right, so first curvature we're going to do is going to be, let me plug myself in here real quick. Okay, so the first curvature we're going to grab is going to be this curvature from this line to this curve here. So that's going to be a 3D sketch. So jump in here, 3D sketch, curvature, and then we're gonna come from this point. Just make a few points all the way down to here. Okay. And we're just gonna come and jump from the back here. I'm gonna straighten that out. And then just click on this line and bring up control polygon. And then we're just going to be as close to as possibly can. We can with that edge, something like that, and just bring that up in here to that point, and something like this. Okay, so that's good on this side, and let's jump to the top here, and then let's align these lines with the top as well. And let's come a little bit closer to the edge with that one, and let's come closer to that corner here as well. I can further manipulate this curvature here, and that looks good there. And maybe a little bit closer with that corner here. Okay. And now let's have a look from the side. That looks pretty good from this side here. You can bring this one here, and then bring this one here. And let's just jump back to the top to make sure that we are on target. So almost good. And then let's jump back into the edge. And we need to just move that more closer to the edge here, like so. And then yeah, that looks good already. Okay, that looks fantastic. Okay, so that curvature looks good. I'm going to exit the sketch, and then I'm going to make another 3D sketch, and then 3D sketch, grab that spline, and then go from this point. I'm just gonna make a few points here as well, somewhere in the air, not on the edge, and to that point there. Good. And let's jump to the edge here, edge view or back view, and drop that control polygons on. And then we want to get close to this edge here, right? So yeah, so just trying to be as close to that edge as possible from this view, and pull that to there, and we will check again our curvature. I mean, that's Bit too much of a curvature. So if you look at the curvature, that looks good from this side. Let's have a look from the side now. All right. So, right, we want to pull this here, not in the, not too far from the body, obviously. And if it turns out that our joint is not the same size, the joint, basically we want to get the joints to be the same size 0.5 uh, all throughout the design, and that's what we are aiming for here. Okay, and that looks good from this side. And let's have a look again on the edge view. If we are still on the edge, and we are, so that looks good from here. And let's have a look from the top as well. I mean, I'm not expecting too much from the top, but yeah, so there's just a little bit of manipulation here as well. We can add and pull this a little bit back like that. And that looks good from the top. Okay, so let's have a look. I'll just double check again from the side. And that looks good from the side and again from the edge. Okay, that looks good from the edge as well. Okay, so we're going to leave this curvature here and exit this sketch. All right. Right. So I mean, yes, we could use the edge to snip to and then create our surface and then cut the joint afterwards. However, I find it more easier, and I find it more better if we have our own curvature created for this door here. So we will be able to hide some edges along the way. So yes, you can try if you want. You can try creating the surface from the edge, but I just like to create its own curvature to start from this door. So I'm going to grab another 3D spline here, a 3D curvature. I'm going to snip from this point. I'm just going to create a few points here. All right. And up down to this small curvature here. And then just edit this curvature. So click on that line. Let's drop our control polygon onto this curvature. And let's edit this curvature so that we are looking good joint wise. Let's just pull this in here. Okay, and then let's have a look from the side. Okay, so that's our edge. And we want to be on that edge. So right, so that looks good, that curvature for us. And then we're going to leave this curvature here. Let's just double check again from this side. So we look straight, pretty good. All right, press OK on that curvature and exit the sketch. Okay, so we have some curvatures here to work with, and then we already have these 3D curvatures here, which we can work with. And okay, so if we jump over to first display state here, and if we don't need to make a sketch on that plane, so just click that and then normal to profile. So we have these cool two curvatures here. So let's grab another 3D spline here and just click somewhere here, not all the way in the edge, and up to this point. And then you're just gonna pull this all the way to the end until you see that coincident relationship showing up. And we're just going to pull that up to this point, and then here a little bit. So that looks good. And then as we talked about, this and the constraint curve is going to be this curvature here. However, we're not going to put this surface in now, but afterwards. So if we don't put this surface in now, it gets quite straight, but not really. We will add a little bit of profile to that curvature. Okay, so it's straight down and then bulge out a little bit with a little bit of profile. So let's jump into our second display state here, and then get to this edge view here. Okay, and then we're just we're going to manipulate this curvature here. So one will come down to this point here, like so, and the next one will give it a little bit of profile to bulge out about that much. Okay, so that looks good. Exit the sketch. Okay, and then the second curvature we want to introduce here is going to be on the midpoint where this curvature is going to stop. So this curvature here that runs throughout here, it stops somewhere in the midway. So if we jump into first display state here, and I click on that front plane, and then if you can see, this is where that curvature stops. All right. So let's grab a 3D sketch with a 3D spline, and just going to drop one right about here. Okay, and jump back into second display state, and we want to give this a little bit of profile as well. Click on that line, and we are just going to introduce a little bit of curvature on that spline. Okay, so exit the sketch. All right, so that looks good. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hide this small spline here that we created. So hide that. And then we're going to make a 3D sketch from to this edge. So make sure you're not on that line, but on this face. So 3D sketch and 3D spline, and make sure you be on that face here in that black dot corner. So we want to get that, and we're going to just bring it onto this line here. Okay. And if we jump into our first display state here, just to double check what we got, we don't want anything upside down. So, and that's where our curvature is heading. So it heads down something like that. Okay, so jump into our second display state. And we're going to add tangency from this edge to this line. So add tangency. That looks good. And then we're going to just turn the model to this way until those two lines lines up. And then we're just going to pull this handlebar down a little bit. or closer to the face. Right, so it gets a little bit straight. Okay, so that looks good. Exit the sketch. Okay, and then we got one more curvature to make here, and that's going to be from this point down to this curvature here. So jump to 3D sketch, and then curvature, and then we're going to come from this point down to this side here. And then jump into our first display state here quickly, and then click on that. And then we're just going to pull this point into here and pull this down here. And we want to add tangency with this line and that line there, tangency. And then and that looks good for us. We're going to trim some stuff here anyways. So we don't want to introduce too much curvature quickly. So yeah, that looks good. And then press OK, and then let's just jump into our second display state here and just have a look from the side here. So that's coming out quite a bit. So we want to align with this line a little bit as well. So just pull the handlebar in until you're somewhere close to that one. And then we have this line here. We can just pull this a little bit out as well. And then a little bit that one spline point a little bit in as well. Okay, so that looks good for us. Looks perfect. And then I'm going to exit this sketch. Okay, and then we just need to make some surfaces now. So the first surface is we're going to create is going to be this small surface here. So let's jump into surfaces and choose a boundary surface. And let's choose this line here. And then this line. Let's flip these connectors by hovering over the pin connectors. So flip the connectors. And we're going to pull this line up to until see the black dot. And for direction 2, of course, we're going to choose this line here and this curvature. Okay, we don't need to add tangency anywhere here. So press OK. Okay, so let's try it differently. So, all right, okay, so that's our issue there. So let's try boundary surface, this line and this line here. Flip the connectors, and let's select for direction 2 this line here, this line, this top line. I'll pull this up again, and then direction to this line here. This is curvature. Okay, so let's pull this to this point, and let's choose our line. Okay, so let's try a different way. Right, so let's try again. Boundary surface, selection manager. Let's choose this line, and then this line here. We can always edit 3D curve. That's actually let's do that. All right. So let's jump in here and 3D sketch, and let's grab that 3D curve. Okay, exit that sketch and jump into surface, boundary surface, and then let's select this sketch we just made. So let's come down here and add that sketch for one, and then add this one for the second one, and direction to this line here, and then this curvature here. So now it registered it for us, and we just need to pull this line back, this point that fell over there. So let's pull it all the way to won't work if we pull it to that. So let's get a little bit closer to that point, somewhere here, somewhere in the midsection. So that will work for us. And pull this one as well somewhere here. Okay, that registered perfectly. So we just need to move that point to this corner here. All right. So that creates that surface for us. Press OK on that. Okay, so the next surface is going to be from this edge to this line here. So boundary surface or yes, we're going to do these two lines here. So line 1, line 2, and let's try and move down to this point here to see with the black dot. Okay, and for direction 2, let's choose this edge and then this line, and that is perfect. So we don't need to add tangency here because we want to keep that sharp. That's okay. And that registered perfectly. It bleeds into the midpoint as we wanted it. Okay. And then we're going to make another boundary surface from this edge, not just the top part, but the whole thing, so not fill surface. So boundary surface, selection manager from these two, and then this line here. And for direction 2, let's choose the top line and the bottom one. And we want to pull these connectors back to that edge. That's perfect. That's good. Okay, and then we're going to try and add tangency in this connecting point. So add tangency to face. That registered. Okay, so now we have that surface there. So there you go. All right. So that edge stops here and bleeds into that one. All right. That's exactly what we were looking for. So the next surface is very obvious. It's going to be a boundary surface. It's going to come from this line to this line here. And let's flip these connectors. And let's add our direction 2s. Actually, I want to snip straight on this edge. So to do that, let's hide this curvature here. So we can see our edge here. Okay, so boundary surface and direction. So curvature 1, curvature 2. Let's flip these connectors. And direction 2, we need to grab a selection manager so we can select both edges. That's one for direction 1. And direction 2, the bottom part. And that looks good. Okay. So let's just come in here quickly and then just have a look that we have our tangency still in place. That tangency didn't register. So let's add the tangency back. The tangency to face now it registered because it became green. So press OK. So now we are nice and tangent on that surface as well. Okay. So let's knit these surfaces together. Okay. And then let's mirror it over to the other end. However, I prefer not to mirror over yet, but I'm just going to mirror it over to have a look. Okay, so as we continue along, we will delete that mirror just so it's easier to work with. And then we're going to choose for face plane, into the front plane, and bodies to mirror is going to be this door, right? Okay, so we have the door created for our C8 Corvette here. And we're going to leave this tutorial here, and then see you back in tutorial 22. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.